Hey y'all, it's Megan. We're back at the garden again. Gonna give you a quick update on a few things. We're down here gonna dig a few of these sweet potatoes just to see if they're close to being ready. They've been in the ground, what, 90 days?
Probably just a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, something
Somewhere
like that.
there.
So, not quite the 100 to 150 because we added it up the other night and it wasn't quite there, but we're just gonna see what they look like. We've been patiently waiting for 3 months, so we just can't stand it no longer.
Yeah, it never hurts to look every once in a while. These vines have gotten really, really long and big and everything, so. I ain't seeing nothing yet. Bunch of roots. Apparently they ain't been in the ground long enough. There's one that's coming. Well, y'all, I got a lot. I can't lie. This ain't what I expected to see. We dug some up in my mom and daddy's house yesterday, but they weren't these white ones. It was some of the red ones, and they had some already about that long and that big around, and they've been in the ground less time than these have. So let's go to the red ones and see what we got up there.
Y'all, we still ain't found nobody that knows the name of these potatoes, so these are those red ones. If you watched my video when we were getting our slips ready. So any new folks watching, if you know what kind of sweet potato has those kind of leaves, leave it in the comments. We'd love to know.
Ain't none of these either, I don't think. There. There you go. It's a big one, ain't it? Well, just to be fair, we have discovered this land down here is not sweet potato land. Apparently. We had a real hard time with these from the beginning.
Which they're a little early. We're early.
Yeah,
too,
we're
so,
early. I was just expecting to see some potatoes. Right there they are. I mean, they're there. But that just lets us know that we still got plenty of time before we have to worry about getting these up. But I ain't gonna lie. I'm very surprised. I was expecting a lot more than that. Now we have some sweet potatoes planted in a raised bed at the house that look 10 times better than these. You can see these have done got taken by grass, but the vines look so much better than these do. And I wouldn't be afraid to say they've got some potatoes under them. But I mean, the vines run, they're big. But that's how it is. Sometimes everything ain't quite what you expected. We'll take these vines back home, feed them to something. All your critters, they love the sweet potato vines. Cows, your pigs, goats, whatever. They flat love the vines. So we'll take these home and feed them to something. But anyway, we just kind of had this on our mind and we wanted to check and see if there's anything in there. Now these are 2 full rows of sweet potatoes. So looks like we got a while before we have to worry about digging these.
While we're down here, we'll give you a quick look at everything else we got going on down here, and then we'll head up to the Hickory King corn and the Jimmy Red and show y'all how that's doing. That's pretty exciting, so you want to stick around for that. This is our late honey select that we planted.
Yep. It's looking pretty good so far, as long as the coons stay out of it. That's what this net here's for. It should have power on it, but we don't have power down here. And we had a battery fence charger on a small section of net right over here, and it barely had enough juice to electrify just one section of net. So we've just put four strands of net around this, and we're hoping that that alone will actually keep the coons out, because a coon's smart. I highly doubt it does, but maybe it'll aggravate them enough that they won't try to get in there. We do have a bad problem with coons down here. Take a look at the cover crop we got going. If y'all remember, this was the potato patch, and I've got it sowed in iron and clay peas right now, which you can actually eat the pea off of these, but it's mainly meant for like a cover crop or like a food plot type deal. But we've got these planted here because we're planning to have our corn patch here next year. At least one of our corn patches will be right here. And these iron and clay peas will put nitrogen back into the soil. And I'll have a different cover crop on it over the winter. But anyways, that was just a short-term cover crop to have after the potatoes, and they're actually doing pretty good. The deer's nibbled on them a little bit, but overall they look pretty good.
I think our bone salts and the deer trails are doing a good job.
This is our late row of green beans that's just now started coming in. Our late cucumbers over here apparently didn't like the heat and humidity that we've had, because they just flat got wiped out with some type of disease. Then here we got some more crowder peas, and they're coming in pretty good too. They're looking really good. Then down here, we've got some late squash planted. It's actually looking really good too.
It actually looks better than the squash we planted this spring.
It does. We typically don't have good luck with late squash, but this down here has done really good. Good. Oh yeah, it is. Leave it there. So y'all, things are starting to wind down a lot for us in the garden, and we really were back just about a little less than a month ago. We were at the gardens like every single day, and now it's cut back a whole lot. You know, things are winding down, and we're kind of in that spell where we don't have anything going except this late stuff we planted, and won't be long, it'll be time for the fall garden stuff to go in. But right now, I'm very tickled with all our late stuff. Everything we've planted that was late has done really good, except for those cucumbers up there. And now here's the other end of that corn patch. And like we said earlier, that was Honey Select. On the upper side, we had a variety called candy corn. And we just had awful luck. Once again, if you've seen earlier videos, you'll know that we've had bad luck growing corn down here. Something in this soil just didn't like the corn, or the corn didn't like it. And the only spot we were able to get any corn was the very end out here. The rest of it was nothing. It tasseled out about 3 foot high and had absolutely no ears on it. But But we did get enough to eat on. She canned how many?
I canned 8 pints off of it.
It wasn't much, but we've been eating on it too, boiling it. But
we'll have crowder peas before long.
But that's really about all we got going on down here. It's just kind of a waiting game. Waiting on the crowder peas to get ready. Waiting for some more green beans to come in. She's done picked most of those that were ready. The tomatoes are almost over with. There's still gonna be a few more pickings on those. And then waiting on that corn. So as long as we can keep the coons out, we're gonna have a decent corn crop on that, I think. And hopefully we'll actually have some to sell this time. But anyways, that's it for down here. So before we take a look at the corn, we'll walk through here and I want to show you my watermelon crop. We ain't never had watermelons like we have now. Look out through here, y'all. This is going to be so pretty. The buckwheat is blooming. And you see all those tall things out here? That's all sunflowers that were left over from a sunflower head that we had in the building for several years. Because when we picked it, we grew, and it was about like that. But it'd been laying in the building for years, and we just scattered those seeds, and evidently they were still good. But we've already filled the back of that Tahoe up with watermelons, and we still have that many more or more to pick. Of course, some of these are a little on the small side, but look at that. We ain't never grew a watermelon like that, and that one's right. That one is right. So it looks like we need to be picking them again. We got watermelons all through here. What's this one, Megan? Look at that. That's a pretty watermelon.
This was fresh ground.
Yeah, I guess you could say it was fresh ground. Last year at this time, it was growed up ground. You couldn't walk through here last year at this time because this was brush and trees and stuff way over my head. And yeah, now it growed a pretty good little patch for us this year. It done really good. So here, these are a different type of watermelon. We don't have quite as many of those. And out here on the very end, we have the Charleston Grays, and we've done picked about all of those. There's not many of those left. They're mostly just small ones that we've just kind of left. But they weren't ripe yet either. Up there we had some squash and stuff. All that's about done.
The squash bugs have been awful up here.
Yeah, the squash bugs. This was not the place to pick squash. I mean, to plant squash. All right, y'all. So this spot down here is the Jimmy Red. And we have seen some of the weirdest stuff in this corn. I'm not sure if it's because it's an heirloom and it doesn't have all the resistance and stuff like these newer varieties do. But look at this. We got one main ear coming out here. Then it tried to make another ear here, another ear here, and another ear here. All off of the same bud down there. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And there's a bunch of that in here. It's not like it's just one or two plants. We've got, right here's a good one to show them because this one tried to open up. So we fixed several of these ears. Some of them have been nice, but this one's a small one, it looks like. Yeah, this one didn't fill out completely. But look at that corn. That is some of the prettiest corn I've ever seen. And that's gonna make some really good cornmeal.
And it don't look like it was cross-pollinated.
No, not on this it don't anyways.
Because we were a little worried about it.
But it's not gonna be long. See, right here's another one. Look at this. We got an ear here, an ear here, and an ear here. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know, it blows my mind. I ain't never seen nothing like that. And most people who have been around corn that I've talked to haven't seen that either. So, and look right here. Show them some of that stuff. Anybody know what that is? What do you call it, Megan?
I don't know. I know it's a delicacy. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
somewhere or another, they say that's a delicacy. I don't think I'm going to try to eat it, though. But we'll go up here and check out the Hickory King. So this right here is the Indian corn that we planted. And I know y'all have heard us talk in several videos in the past, but we had a terrible time with insects this year. And the Japanese beetles eat the very end of the silk out and made the corn open up on the end, so it's not wrapped up like it's supposed to be. On a hull, see, it should look like this, where it's closed tight. No water, nothing can get in there. But we've got a bunch of ears that are exposed on the end like this, where the Japanese beetles eat. That's not a good one to show. The Japanese beetles just eat the end of the silk out of the end. And I mean, it's just been a mess this year. So here's something else that we have. See, here's another one and this is on the Indian corn, so it's not the Jimmy Red. But I've seen a bunch of this, where it's like the tassel that's supposed to be in the top of the corn is actually coming out the end of the ear. Now, I have seen a lot of people who said they've seen that. And then we've had, I don't see one right now, but we've had some in here where up on top of the tassel up there, it looks like a miniature corn cob growing. And I've had a lot of people say they saw that too. They called them tassel ears or something. But so apparently that's not that uncommon. But right here's a good one to show. Look, see, the Japanese beetles got in here and eat all the green that was wrapping the end of this corn up and left it exposed. And so that's not good, because when it rains, water can get down in this ear now, and I don't know how bad it'll end up hurting it, but I know it's not good. But anyways, we have had a terrible time with Japanese beetles. But we'll walk right up through here. This is our soybean patch. They're starting to bloom. Hey, one other little unique thing I want to mention here. So this, before we bought it, well, like I said, was growed up. But before that, before it grew up, was a field. And the guy broke the land. He'd always break one half this way and one half this way, and left it. It eventually caused a huge bank to be right here in the middle of the field. And that bank, what I done to fix it was I took the blade on the tractor and I started at one end and come to the other, and I rolled all of that soil off the bank and just kind of smoothed it up. So it's still a little bit on the steep side here, but it's nothing like it was. But I want y'all to look at how these soybeans have done, where I rolled all the topsoil off and it went into this bank. So this is nothing but topsoil, and up above it is down, you know, it's not topsoil. But check this out. These have had no fertilizer or nothing put on them. But look at the difference from here to here. It's amazing. Get up here and check this out, Meagan. You see it better up here. See how pitiful looking these soybeans are, and then just right here. Look at that. That just blows my mind. So guys, that tells you, that shows you a lot right there about caring for your soil and stuff. I mean, I probably shouldn't have done that, but that was just a quick, easy fix for that bank that was there. But it's crazy. All right, so here we are. This is the Hickory King. If I find a nice looking ear to show you, we'll pull one off. This would be a good one. So this stuff, the ear itself hasn't got big and fat, but they're long. This one's actually not one of the longer ones. But this stuff, if this one's like the rest of them, it is so pretty. Look at that, y'all. See how long that ear of corn is? I mean, that's well over a foot long. And one true way to tell if you've got pure Hickory King corn is there'll be 8 rows of corn on every single ear. If you get out of that, if you end up with a different number, then it's not true Hickory King corn. And this has 8 to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 rows. But we're really pleased with how this turned out, ain't we?
Mm-hmm.
We can't wait to put some of this on the grinder and eat it. But this, like I said, was my first year growing the Hickory King. I really thought the ears were supposed to get fatter than that, but evidently they're not, because every one of these that we've pulled so far has been little skinny ears, where in comparison, you can see the difference. This one's quite a bit fatter, but this one's got a lot more rows than this does. This has a whole lot fatter kernel. And something else my daddy told me the other day is you'll never pull an ear of corn that's got an odd number of rows. If any of y'all ever done that, let me know. But we have counted ears of corn all my life. Daddy always said that back when he used to raise corn. And so the other day we counted rows on this and on this, on everything that we could find. And we did not find a corn cob with with an odd number of rows. Everything was either like 12 rows, 14 rows. You never seen one with like 13 rows or 11 rows. So I thought that was a pretty interesting fact. Like I said, if y'all have ever found a corn cob with an odd number of rows, leave it down in the comments and let us know. But this is our Hickory King. The old tall Hickory King. We got some tall weeds up in here too. See, the wind come through the other night and we lost some of them. They got blowed down. But this is it's been a fun experiment for sure. And I can't wait to really use it. I mean, we're planning on feeding some of this to the animals. We're going to definitely make cornmeal out of it. And so, yeah, we'll see. We're going to use it for about everything people use corn for. And obviously, we're going to pick some of the better ears, some of the prettiest ears we got, and we're going to save those for seed. And that way we'll have, where this is an heirloom, we'll have a continuous supply of corn. Every year we can just replant out of what we harvest. And we'll never have to worry about buying seeds again unless we get a little careless on saving the seeds. So, anyways, sunflowers we had planted up here that y'all probably seen in another video are done. We actually need to cut a few of those heads. But that's it. Anything else you need to say?
Just stand next to one, show them how tall it really is.
Right here's a good one. Check this out. I'm almost 6 foot tall. And look at that. The bottom of the ears are right at 6 foot tall. I think I'm actually like 5'9". And that's crazy. I've never seen, even my daddy who's grown corn, I don't think he's ever planted this old timey Hickory King corn, but he's always grew field corn. He said he's never seen corn this tall. But now it's not a uniform tall. Like we have some really tall stalks in here, and then we have others that are on down where corn typically is. And that may just be a deal with our land here. You know, it's not the most fertile land, so that could be something to do with that. But right here's another one. I mean, look at that ear sticking out there. Of course, so about right there is where the ear starts. I mean, but still, that's a heck of an ear right there. I'm pretty excited about this, in case you can't tell.
Look at that one.
Which one?
This one.
Yeah, there you go. There's some of that funky stuff. And it's also had that other stuff growing on the tassel. But you see those little kernels there? The kernels actually formed on, well, actually, look at that. That's where the tassel's supposed to come out. And look at what's up there. And from what I've read online about this stuff they call tassel ears, that can come from stress from the weather. And we've definitely had stress from the weather this year. It started out extremely wet with 10 inches of rain, and then went into an extremely hot drought early for us. Like, we never have temperatures like we had in May, and we were having weeks with just 90-degree days and no rain. And so considering the weather we've had on this corn, this is probably one of our best crops that we grew this year. I mean, it's really done good. So I could only imagine how this would do on a good year. But I'm happy with it. I think this was an experiment that is definitely going to pay off. So if you've got enough room, I encourage anybody to grow your own field corn for your cornmeal and to supplement feed to your animals.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for watching. I want to show you just how truly short I am, or either just how truly tall this stuff is, but I'm going to have a hard time picking it because it's way up there. Like, if I'm on my tippy toes, then maybe I can pull it.
You can't even reach that second ear up there, can you?
No, not at all.
Let's see, there's one more
there.
Right back there, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep, you'll be bending that one over to get that one out.
Yeah. So, anyways, I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to y'all next time.